How's it going, Rebel fans? This is the Rebellion Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Staker. Decided to take a little break from recruiting news and everything going on with UNLV basketball, UNLV football, and doing one of my little random episodes where I do like a ranking or talk about something else. I'm a big rankings guy. That's always been my thing. I like to rank things. It's like, what's your favorite ice cream? I'm like, hold on, let me give you my top 5, right? So that's just something I've always been into. My top 10 favorite, I don't know, dinosaurs, whatever it is. I'll make a ranking list out of it. So I was kind of trying to figure out a topic for this episode, and I was jotting down some notes, trying to think of things that would be interesting to talk about. And then at first I was like, okay, maybe I'll talk about my favorite moments in UNLV basketball history. And then I couldn't think of any. There's 3 moments. Yeah, and then I don't know, that somehow led me down the rabbit hole of highest ranked recruits in UNLV history. And so 247 Sports, it's a pretty popular, high school, college, recruiting sports website. And they actually have all the way back to 2010, all of the high school players ever and what they were ranked, or just the recruits in general, I'd say, because it includes junior college players. They even have transfer rankings. So I like to look at those from time to time. And so that led me down this rabbit hole of figuring out what schools in the Mountain West have gotten what players over the years. And so I ended up coming up with, I wanted to rank the best recruits in the history of the Mountain West Conference. The best recruits in terms of their star rating, their accolades, what their ranking was. And I used 247 Sports because if I tried to compare it from all the different websites, it would just take too much time. Though I suppose I think On3 is the one that combines them all, so I could have looked into that. But still, it's still going to be a good reference point. But so I'm going to go ahead and get started, but I'll just say to you guys listening, some of this stuff I'm going to say will blow your mind. It's crazy. So, okay, here we are. The top 30 recruits in Mountain West Conference history. Actually, I shouldn't say history because like I said, it only goes back to 2010. So I guess it's the top 30 recruits in the last 15 years, I should say. History just sounds better, right? So yeah, it doesn't start the rankings till around 2010. So there's no Kawhi Leonard, there's no Wink Adams. There's some other good players New Mexico got. So take that into consideration. Overall, though, I think the point of what this ranking is about, the stuff I took away from it, it's still going to be the same, right? If you added 2000 through 2009 into these rankings, it wouldn't look that much different, okay? With all that being said, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. All right, number 30, Jazz Garner, who played for the enemy, the Nevada Wolfpack, but we don't call them Nevada. We call them Reno, or we call them UNR. So let's see what Jazz Garner did. He was ranked 138th overall in the nation when he committed to Reno, and ended up averaging 4 points per game for his career. Ouch. That is what you call a bust. He might be a great guy though. Who knows? At number 29, we have Tyron Jones, this incoming high school recruit, class of 2025. Really excited to watch him. So much potential, Tyron Jones. And he was the 137th player in the nation per 247 Sports. Coming in at number 27, William McDowell White from Fresno State. He was ranked 131st in the country overall. I don't remember him. So, yeah. And then at number 26, we have Isaac Davis from Utah State. He was ranked 131st in the country. At number 25, we have True Washington, New Mexico. He's a really good player. New Mexico got a good one with him. And the crazy thing is, I think he's the second highest. Or no, he's the highest New Mexico recruit on this entire list. I thought New Mexico would have more players in the top 100, but they didn't have any, surprisingly, at least based on this recruiting website, right? So, yeah, True Washington was 130. JT Toppin was 133. Okay, number 24, Chandler Hutchinson from Boise. I think we all remember him. He was the best player in the conference. He killed UNLV. And then he got drafted first round into the NBA. He's not doing too well in the NBA, though. I think I have his stats right here. Chandler Hutchinson, yeah, he's averaging 5 points a game for his whole career, but mostly that came in his first 2 years. That's not a good sign. So he averaged 5 points his first year, 8 points his second year, and then it just went downhill from there. So that usually when that happens, that's because franchises are giving you a lot of minutes to try and develop you, try and get you to feel confident and get you a lot of experience. And then once their production drops off the years following, that means, odds are you're going to be out of the league soon. So, yeah. So Hutchinson, definitely remember him very well. And he was number 24. Okay, so number 23, Jalen James from San Jose State. Jalen James. So San Jose State actually had a guy make the rankings. That's cool. I don't remember him. I have no idea how well he did. He probably didn't even stay there. But yes, Jalen James was 127th ranked in the country. Number 22, we have Trey Kell from San Diego State. Definitely remember that guy. Couldn't stand him, but mainly just because of the team he played for. Trey Kell was ranked 122nd in the nation overall. And then number 21, we have Bryce Hamilton, one of the greatest scorers in UNLV history, one of my favorite players. He was ranked 105th in the country overall. Number 20, Pharaoh Compton, current player for San Diego State. Pharaoh was a guy that I really wanted at UNLV. Very athletic, long arms. Yeah, definitely. Though he didn't have as good of a season as I thought he would. So I feel a little bit better about missing out on him now. Though he could blow up his sophomore year for sure. So Pharaoh was ranked 104th in the country. At number 19, Jeremy Hensley. I remember him because this is another guy that UNLV was trying to get. Jeremy Hensley committed to San Diego State, and he was 103rd ranked overall in the country. Number 18, I remember this guy, but I can't quite remember how to pronounce his name. Zylan Chiefman from San Diego State. San Diego State just had 3 in a row. Actually, San Diego State has 5 of the last 6, so they have a lot of guys ranked in that range. Though this is a really high-ranked recruit. Zylan Chiefman was ranked 80th overall in the country. That's a guy that could have gone to any school he wanted to. And that's, I think, the 3rd highest ranked recruit San Diego State got. And then number 17, Savon Goodman. Rebel fans, you remember Savon Goodman? He was ranked really high, and he was pretty good, actually. He was like our 9th man, but you could see the potential was there. He wasn't buried at the end of the bench. He was a guy that had a lot of energy, had a lot of athleticism, so he found himself getting some minutes. Though he didn't stay. I'm not even sure what happened to Savon Goodman. I'm gonna Google it real quick. I have to know because I don't know what happened to him. I don't even remember where he transferred to. Oh, he transferred to Arizona State. That's right. I forgot about that. And then how did he do there? He only played. That's weird. Wonder what that's about. He only played 2 seasons at Arizona State. He must have an injury or quit or something. I'm gonna have to look into that. But let's see. He averaged 11 points for ASU as a redshirt sophomore. That's good. That's really good. Averaging 11 points for a Pac-12 team. And then he averaged just under 10 points for his redshirt junior year. And then don't know what happened to him after that. Maybe he declared for the NBA. So, yeah, Savon Goodman. Savon was ranked, where am I at? 78th overall in the country. He was part of that awesome 2012 recruiting class for UNLV. And then, okay, now we are into the top 16. So, number 16, Joseph Hunter Jr., another Fresno State guy. So this one's interesting. He was ranked 75th overall in the country, a really big recruit for Fresno. He got arrested multiple times. I don't think he ever actually played a game there. So he's just one of those head cases that can't stay out of trouble. That's unfortunate for Fresno because he was obviously very talented to be ranked this high in the country. Okay, number 15. So now we're in the top 15. Troy Baxter. Troy Baxter was in the Menzies era. He played 1 year, had a lot of talent. Can't remember where he transferred to. I want to say it was somewhere in Florida, like South Florida or something like that. Troy was ranked 74th overall in the country. So he was the second highest rated recruit that Marvin Menzies brought to the Scarlet and Gray. Okay, number 14, Robert Upshaw, Fresno State. Fresno had more guys on this list than I was expecting. And I actually remember Robert Upshaw because he played on the same AAU team as Steven Zimmerman, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember the name of the AAU team right now. But yeah, big 7-footer. And I remember I really wanted him at UNLV. He was ranked 58th overall in the country. So that's a very high ranking, a very clear-cut 4-star recruit. By the way, every single recruit I've said thus far is a 4-star recruit. Okay? 4 stars means you can go almost anywhere you want. 5-star means you're elite and you have NBA potential. Okay, so number 13, Christian Wood. Chris Wood, super talented. He ended up, being a actually decent NBA player, which I think kind of shocked a lot of Rebel fans. But he just had that much talent, and then he figured it out. And so he recently got waived by the Lakers, but someone will pick him up. He's still a really good player. All right, number 12, Caton Reinhardt. Caton Reinhardt was ranked 39th in the country. He was YouTube famous. He had all these videos of doing crossovers and hitting threes from like 35 feet out. He was a really exciting player. Like we were really excited when we landed him, just because I don't know. There's so much video of him all online. He has such a fan base, a following. He played for the famous Mater Dei High School, and he kind of just played like white chocolate, just like fancy dribbling, crossing dudes up. So he had a okay freshman year, but I'm not going to get into it too much. But he left a bad taste in Rebel fans' mouths because he wasn't happy that he didn't get drafted alongside Anthony Bennett. I can't make this stuff up. He actually thought he should have been drafted alongside Anthony Bennett. Dude, you were very skilled. You had good size, but you weren't athletic. I'm sorry. Come on. Anyways, so that was a little side rant. That was number 12. Number 11, we have Deion Thomas Jr. He was supposed to be the chosen one. He was supposed to be the guy to bring Vegas back to the NCAA tournament. He was supposed to have his name in the rafters someday, but he quit on us and went to LSU, which is a shame because he was arguably my favorite Rebel ever before he decided to leave. And I would love to see what he would do on this roster with Josh Pazner. These guys that Pazner's putting on the team would fit so perfect with Deion's passing. Oh, well. All right. Now we are in for the top 10 recruits in Mountain West history. Well, top 10 recruits in Mountain West in the last 15 years, I should say. Okay, number 10, San Diego State, Malik Pope. I remember this guy. Tall, long, athletic. He had like this kid in play haircut. That's how I remember him. He ended up being okay, but he was nowhere near as good as his ranking, because he was a 4-star recruit and even 5 stars in some recruiting databases. So that was number 10. Number 9, Derrick Jones Jr., one of the greatest dunkers, not only in UNLV history, but in human history. He is a human airplane, okay? He won the NBA dunk contest. He probably should have won it twice, but I think he was nervous the first one he did. And we got him for only 1 year at UNLV, but man, was he fun to watch. Just such a freak athlete. Number 8, Dwayne Morgan. Sorry, I don't know if I mentioned Derrick Jones Jr., he was ranked 25th overall in the country. Malik Pope was ranked 33rd overall in the country. I don't know if I mentioned those or not. So, okay, number 8, Dwayne Morgan. Dwayne Morgan is the first 5-star in this countdown. He was a clear-cut 5-star recruit, ranked 25th overall in the country. We thought we were getting this 6'8" athletic wing player who can drive and shoot and do it all, who's going to go to the NBA someday be an NBA wing. That's not what we got, unfortunately. Dwayne Morgan was not a 6'8" wing. He was a 6'7" big man, like a forward center, unfortunately. Still very athletic, played very hard, just could never figure it out. He ended up actually being quite disappointing just based on how highly ranked he was, which was unfortunate because he was a great kid, so we all wanted to see him succeed. And then, okay, so that was number 8. So number 7, Winston Shepard, San Diego State. So I remember Winston Shepard very well because he played at Findlay Prep. He was Anthony Bennett's teammate. That Findlay Prep team was loaded. Winston Shepard, I really, really wanted him at UNLV so bad because he was 6'8" and like played point guard. He was just a really good passer, and he was athletic, but athleticism wasn't his strength. It was more just his size and skill. He's a guy that honestly should have been an NBA player, or at least, made a roster at some point. But I'm not sure, to be honest, what happened to him after San Diego State. I'll have to look into that. Okay, number 6, Good Luck Okanobo. Good Luck was ranked 16th overall in the country. 16 overall. He was 5-star in all the recruiting databases. This was a big-time recruit, okay? Good Luck Okanobo was the 6'10", super athletic, shot-blocking phenom, right? This guy was supposed to be the next big thing on the defensive end. He was raw offensively, but he would catch a lot of lobs because he was just super athletic. A very confident player, too. Like, he always was out there. Kind of like Mike Beasley. He just had that, like, personality where he's just, like, laughing and having fun, knowing he's the best player in the court. That's what Good Luck was in high school. And unfortunately, he didn't end up being a superstar for us the way we thought. His freshman year was okay. He averaged, like, 5 points and 4 rebounds, 2 or 3 blocks. So he had a decent freshman year. But then sophomore year, he was supposed to be the superstar for us. Like, we were supposed to have the best front court in the country, or in the West Coast at least, with Steven Zimmerman and Good Luck Okanobo and Ben Carter. But Good Luck quit on us after Hawaii. We got back from Hawaii, and he just packed his bags and was like, peace. So, yeah, he ended up being a huge disappointment, a huge bust. I actually did look into what he's doing, and I can't find anything. The last I saw was in 2018, he was playing in the G League, averaging like 3 points a game. So he is it's sad because Good Luck seemed like a really good kid, and it ended up being such a waste of talent to be that big, that athletic, and now you're not even playing basketball anymore. So I hope he's doing well. All right, now we're into the top five recruits in Mountain West history. At number 5, we have Brandon McCoy, 7-footer, 5-star recruit that Marvin Menzies brought in. McCoy was ranked 16th in the country overall. A really good player, had a really good freshman year for us. Never was able to make it in the NBA, though. He just didn't have it. He was not athletic enough to make up for the things that he struggled in. He wasn't the toughest player. He didn't play the best defense. He wasn't laterally speaking. He wasn't super quick. He had a lot of skill, but not enough skill to make up for his shortcomings. And I think he just struggled with confidence when he made it to the NBA. Okay, number 4. This one is the one I was the most surprised about because I didn't know anything about him. Jordan Brown. Jordan Brown went to Reno, class of 2018. That's when like things were really depressing because Reno was like awesome. They were like a powerhouse almost for a few years. And then UNLV was terrible. So I think I was just not watching college basketball back then because I was so depressed about that. So yeah, Jordan Brown was recruited because of UNR's dominance. And then let's see what happened with him. So he had a long career. So he played the 2018-2019 season for Reno and only averaged 3 points per game. So that's how stacked Reno was and how good they were, that they got a 5-star recruit who sat the bench. He only played 10 minutes a game. That's how good Reno was. And then he transferred to University of Arizona. Reno was so good. They had a guy sit in the bench that was good enough to transfer to the University of Arizona. Let that sink in. He did really well there. He averaged 9.4 points. So, wow, he improved a lot. So, that was back when he had to sit out a year. Like the good days when the NCAA actually had rules that made sense. Unlike now, where it's just everyone's just a free agent every year. So he sat out a year, played a year at Arizona, where he averaged 9.4 points. Then he transferred again. I don't know why, because he did well at Arizona. Maybe they recruited over him, brought in some. Couldn't have been when they got Ayton, because this was after Ayton. But looks like he went to University of Louisiana, where he killed it there. Averaged 15 points and then 19 points. And then apparently he had some eligibility left because he went to Memphis, where he only played 18 games, and he averaged 4 points. Yeah, I should have stayed at Louisiana. Okay, so that was Jordan Brown, one of the highest-ranked recruits in the history of the Mountain West. And then, okay, so where are we at now? Number 3, Steven Zimmerman, Vegas native, Bishop Gorman, 7-footer, very skilled. he was drafted into the NBA. He played in summer league. I think he played in preseason games. I don't believe he ever played, though, an actual regular season game. I don't think he ever made the final roster. He just he was very skilled, but he lacked certain traits needed to make it in the NBA. Like he wasn't tenacious enough. He wasn't the type of tenacity and confidence and toughness required to make it to the top level when every guy you're going against is athletic. Every guy you're going against is confident and talented and strong. So, and unfortunately, he had that arm that was, I don't know how else to put it, but it was like a deformed arm. If you ever remember Steven Zimmerman's arm, like looks really weird, it was deformed. And so that prevented him from being able to lift weights properly. So I think that had a lot to do with his career, how it turned out. Had he not had that issue, I think Steven Zimmerman easily could have been an NBA player. Okay, number 2. Okay, so Steven Zimmerman was ranked 15th overall in the country. He was a McDonald's All-American. Number 2 biggest recruit Mountain West Conference history. And this even goes back to 2000 now. Okay, so that I can say with certainty. So Rashad Vaughn, he was ranked 13th overall in the country, McDonald's All-American, superstar. Every school in the country wanted him. He was a shooting guard. Played 1 year at UNLV, did awesome. Though he didn't play defense. That's one thing I do remember. He was elite on offense, but didn't play much defense. He averaged 17 points per game. He was 6'5", athletic, a shooter, could score in a variety of ways. Definitely, it was very easy to understand why he got drafted as high as he did. I believe he was the 18th pick in the draft by Milwaukee Bucks. And shooting had just started to become a priority at that time, thanks to Steph Curry. Steph Curry changed the game that made shooting more valuable today than it used to be. So I think that is why Rashad Vaughn got drafted so high, because that's what he was known for, as being a shooter. He unfortunately did not shoot well once he got to the NBA, and then he struggled on defense. So now I think he's just playing overseas. He didn't make it in the NBA, but that's okay. He still had an amazing career. And then number 1, top recruit in the history of the Mountain West Conference, highest ranked player ever, most talented player ever, Anthony Bennett. Anthony Bennett was ranked top 10 in every single recruiting service. He was ranked 9th overall in 247 Sports, McDonald's All-American, Findlay Prep High School. He had, I would say, 9 out of 10. On a scale of 1 to 10 of talent, he was a 9. And I would say to make it to the NBA, you have to be at least a 7.5. Anthony Bennett was a 9. He was that talented. That's the reason he went number 1. Okay, people are like, Anthony Bennett, he sucked. He was horrible in the NBA. That had nothing to do with the level of talent he had. That was due to work ethic and not having confidence. Because here's the thing with Anthony Bennett. Anthony Bennett, his entire life, he was the best player on the floor. So he never needed to worry about anything. He was the best player, and he knew it. And so basketball just came so easy to him. And that's why he dominated all throughout high school and then continued into his freshman year at UNLV. He dominated. But when he got to the NBA, now he's going against other guys who are just as talented, who are older and experienced and want his job. And then Anthony Bennett, unfortunately, couldn't cut it. He struggled with his weight. He had a lot of injuries that also did not help matters. But every single attempt to get back into the NBA, I remember the Houston Rockets back when they had James Harden and Russell Westbrook. Anthony Bennett was invited to their training camp. And I was like, cool. Anthony Bennett, like the way he shoots, because he can shoot the 3-ball pretty well, that they value that now. Like I could see him getting a role on this team, especially because he could just be a perfect stretch 4 or even a stretch 5, because Houston liked to go really small. Yeah, no, it didn't work out. He got cut, and then that was his last stint of trying to make it to the NBA. I don't know if he's even playing basketball anymore. It wouldn't shock me if he's not. He honestly might be playing video games right now in like an apartment somewhere in Canada instead of being a multimillionaire famous athlete. So that's sad. Like I said, he was a 9 out of 10 talent. 10 is like your LeBron, Victor Wembanyama, Kyrie, stuff like that. Okay, so that was the top 30 recruits ever in the Mountain West Conference. I didn't include Utah, BYU, schools like that, because again, these rankings only go back to 2010. So yeah, take that into consideration, but still some really mind-blowing notes to take from this. UNLV had 20 of the top 30 players ever, well, since 2010, ranked in 247 recruiting website. 20 of the top 30 best players they recruited. Yet they have never, since 2010, they have not won a single Mountain West Conference tournament, nor have they finished at the top of the standings. I don't even know if they might have finished second in Rice's first year, but I think it was third. So they've had by far the most talent, especially in that Dave Rice era, because of the 20 UNLV players on this list, I want to say like 16 of them are Dave Rice players. Dave Rice brought in unbelievable amount of talent, and we just weren't able to get the job done. So I guarantee if you compare like other conferences that have a school that has gotten the most talent, Duke and North Carolina probably dominate the ACC. Kansas would dominate the Big 12. Gonzaga probably has 18 of the top, or no, Gonzaga probably has 28 of the top 30 recruits ever. The difference is, though, Duke, Carolina, Kansas, Gonzaga, they actually dominate the conference. They're the best program in the conference 4 out of every 5 years. Whereas UNLV has just, if you ranked all the teams in the Mountain West since 2010, just on how well they've done, UNLV might be like 5th, maybe 6th, maybe, just because we've had 10 years of being bad. So it's really sad. Okay, so UNLV also had 10 of the top 13 players. 10 of the top 13 players went to UNLV. And then UNLV had 6 5-star recruits, which is more than any of these other schools had top 200 recruits. Think about that. UNLV, aside from San Diego State, aside from them, UNLV had more 5-star recruits at UNLV in the last 15 years than the rest of the conference had top 200 recruits, aside from San Diego State. Mind-blowing. Also, Utah State only had 1 player in this top 30. Colorado State had 0, yet they've been better than UNLV most of the last several years, yet had nowhere near as much talent. It's depressing. Last note, and then we will wrap this thing up. San Diego State, it seemed like they were landing more high-level blue chip type of players before they made their national championship run. You would think now they would get more attention from top recruits, but it was actually, like 10 years ago when they were getting the best players. Though we are in the NIL era now, so it is different, I will say. But just something that some I found interesting. Okay, Rebel fans, if you listened to this whole countdown, thank you for listening. It was fun to make this list. Took a little while, not going to lie. But I enjoyed it. It brought back a lot of memories of certain players and just wondering what could have been with other players. So, okay, Rebel fans, until next time.